All right, so my guest of honor is the queen of knowing how to get the bag, flip it, and keep it. She currently works as an accountant and she serves on the finance committee for her company. She received her degree in finance from UTA and she received her stockbroker's license within that same year. She is all about supporting the culture and creating opportunities for others. She's the co founder of Being This, That, and Black, which is an online platform that highlights Black excellence and Black businesses. She's one of my favorite ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. My guest of honor today is Mieisha Runn. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How has quarantine been for you?
You know what? Actually, I'm thankful that I'm able to say it. I've been very well taken care of. You know what I mean? I was fortunate to keep my job, considering I'm a homebody anyways. So I'm not complaining staying home. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I'm thankful to say that it's been fine for me.
That's great. That's good to hear. Most people be like, I'm just trying to get out. I need to get out.
Right. No, I'm like, y'all can have it. I'll
I'm
stay
straight.
here.
I am straight being at the crib too, so don't feel bad.
Exactly.
um, Tell me a little bit about your journey and how we see this Mieisha that sits before us today.
Say it again.
I said, tell me a little bit about your journey and how
Oh,
we've gotten to see this person that sits before us today.
man, it hasn't been easy. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I went to school, went to UTA, and I think that's the moment where I was completely independent
Mm-hmm.
from, just kind of free from just living under a household. So I would say for me, my journey is up and down even to this day. Still trying to navigate my career, still trying to truly, truly find who I am. So
Mm-hmm.
today, I'm still evolving. Who I am today is just being at peace at where I'm at, but still looking and searching to continue to grow. So
Yeah.
I'm, just kind of just going through it.
Yeah. That's good to hear though, because some people really feel like our stories are gonna be like this. When
Right. I
really it's
wish.
like
Exactly. Exactly.
how did you know that a career in finance was going to be your path? Like
Whew, we going in and now just kidding. So I went to school to be an architect because
wow.
I love to design, I love to draw, and I love houses. And
Hmm.
so I even took engineering classes when I was in high school at UTSA.
Hmm.
To UTA to be an architect, and I'm going through it, and that is one of the hardest career paths at UTA is architecture.
Absolutely.
So I was going through that, actually getting A's until maybe about my junior year, I guess you can say. I started to fall off that trail because I found out one, as an architect, I'm probably not going to be successful or make money until I'm about like 50 years old. I can't have that. You know what I
Ooh.
mean? So I think that kind of completely derailed me as
Mm.
a plan because I went in here having an idea of what I wanted to do. This is what I was going to accomplish. I was going to be an architect, and just coming to that realization, plus the intensity of the courses, it kind of just knocked me off. So
Yeah.
from that moment, and then again, this is like my junior year, so I'm like, oh shoot, I could be graduating next year.
I gotta go.
Right, I gotta get out of here, but at the same time, I wasn't happy. So it took me on a path of trying to find what career can I get into that no matter what, when I graduate, I can get a job. So I started getting into economics. In fact, the dean of economics wrote me to
Wow.
major in it because I was no major at that point, but I'm very good at math. So I was able to get that. And then I couldn't pass, I think it was microeconomics. And so that completely derailed that plan. And so I'm like, dang, what am I going to do? So eventually I was like, well, I need to go in business. I'm good with numbers. So I ended up going finance. I couldn't decide between finance and accounting, but I ended up choosing finance because, every business has a back office. So I
Yeah.
knew that I can at least get a job
Yeah.
after I graduated. So that's kind of how I ended up with finance.
That's crazy. But
Yeah.
so now that you've been in it for a while, do you feel like you love it now, or do you feel like it's just something that I mean, you have a relationship with it now, or do you feel like it's just something I got to do?
It's a little bit of both because
Okay.
finance is in a world that I really didn't know it truly existed. For example, like I mentioned earlier, that you mentioned earlier, I got my stockbroker license.
Mm-hmm.
finance going through school is very textbook. You're looking at formulas, you're just doing math. But when I graduated and actually got into the career, I learned about stocks, I learned about retirement, I learned about all these things that I felt this was should have been taught.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I fell in love with that aspect of it, of learning about money in a whole new world, and financial literacy really is I learned on the job, and wealth management. So I love that aspect of it. Part that I guess you could say I don't hate it, but I also don't think this is where I end, so to speak. So now I'm an accountant. It's still numbers. I think my career just kind of pushed me along the path, and eventually I'm just going to get somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And you picking up all these skills that
Exactly.
you're just grooming them, and it's like those are all transferable. So you in a good
Exactly.
space, man. That is beautiful, for real. Tell me a little bit about your stockbroker's license. What do you think you want to do with that? Do you want to teach other people? Do you want like is there any like
So
aspirations that way?
I got it because I was trading stock. That was my first job out of school, was me trading stocks for people and talk about retirement planning. So this license does expire, and it's eventually going to expire because I'm no longer with a financial institution. You have to be sponsored. And I'm kind of sad about it because if anybody knows anything about this test, it has a huge fail rate. And I give God the glory for me passing that to begin with. That's another story. But so now that I've attained the knowledge, I literally talk to anybody who wants to know about stocks and retirement. I mean, I don't give advice, but I can lay the foundation to kind of get you an idea like, man, there's actually a whole nother world to this that you really don't know until someone tells you. So I just educate people and just in conversation like this, I just talk to people.
Well, we definitely gonna talk. because I feel like that's a realm that our people we miss. We don't like I had I'm a nanny, you know, I nanny for certain
Yeah.
kids, and like I was at one of those kids' houses and he was like, Miss Katrina, I have $5,500. And I was like, wow. And he was like, I'm not gonna get to touch it though, I'm gonna invest it. I was just like, he's 8. He already knows. I'm like, I wish our kids knew more about that world before, you get to be our age. And it's like, you can still learn, but if you know it, like at that age, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, I think that's it was rewarding in a sense because I get to help people at my job, but that's exactly why I talk to anybody who wants to talk to me about it, because majority of the clientele were not Black, and then the people who were Black that called us, they had like the least amount of money, they're barely making it, they don't understand what's going on, you know what I mean? And it kind of made me sad because, like you said, we don't know until it's too late.
Yeah.
Really get into this. And I had people calling about babies that weren't even born yet, that were like white or just non-Black, and I'm like, you don't even have a social security number and you're already taking steps to set your child or grandchild up for success. And I didn't get that from people who look like me, you know what I mean?
At
and
all.
I knew that. So it made me really want to, and I think that's kind of eventually I really, really, really would love to open up a center to help educate about finance at an early age, and just as adults as well.
Absolutely. Well, I think you'll do great at that. I'm gonna be in the class, and yeah, so we can get this life together. The life of an entrepreneur.
Right.
It's uncertain out here in these streets, so we gotta secure the bag too.
Exactly, and manage it.
Yeah, and manage it. Yes, ma'am. Don't forget that part.
Exactly.
So I know that you have your hands in being this, that, and Black.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So my friend and I, with my Line Sister Tread Award, we kind of really, really, we would see on social media even now just all the negative aspects of the Black community, I should say, for lack of a better word. So we're like tired of just looking at bad. Where is the good in our community? Because there's so much of it, but where is it? So we were like, we want to set a platform up to where we're just highlighting Black excellence, right? Black excellence, whether you're just graduating school to entrepreneurship, a job, you're the CEO, like just where is the excellence at in our community? So that's why we actually started our platform. We're just getting started, so we're still trying to navigate entrepreneurship, but that was the whole premise of why we're even getting started with it.
That's so dope. I love being this, that, and Black, by the way. So I'm in the background like
Thank you.
Super excited for y'all because I know it's gonna be something major. Like you may be just starting and just like getting it going, but y'all, it's gonna be something amazing. I'm so excited for y'all.
Thank you. Me too. I know it is because I know, and even like the name itself, I think we had came across an article about, just people getting killed or just racism. And we're like, although we are Black, we're this, we are entrepreneurs, we're doctors, we're lawyers, we're this, that, and we can still be Black. And I think a lot of people perceive just because we're Black, we don't have these titles.
Man,
So we're like, we gotta uplift this idea that just because we're Black doesn't mean we don't have any other credentials behind our names.
if we want to be real, being Black means that you're multiple things. Like, I mean,
Exactly.
we have to be the doctor, we have to be the teacher, we have to be the
Yep.
sister, the mom, the aunt, like
Yep.
so many hats. Like, if they let me choose, I wouldn't choose anything else. So,
Exactly.
and I still
Ain't
choose
for
to be Black.
everybody.
It's not at all. Shoot, but I think it's great that you have a partner in crime. So, that your friendship is like strong and y'all are building something together. So,
Yeah.
um, let me ask you this: what would you say are your 5 non-negotiables when it comes to friendships and relationships?
Man, 5 non-negotiables. I'm gonna kind of say it in one or two ways. Like, for example, consistency. A lack
Hmm.
of consistency, I guess I can say, it's not negotiable. I don't care if you're mean, you're nice, just be consistent so I know what to expect. So that's a non-negotiable. But when people
Hmm.
going back and forth, it's a no for me. And I'm gonna treat you as such, you know what I mean? A non-negotiable, a lack of empathy, I guess you
Hmm.
could, you have to be empathetic to, a lot of situations for sure. I don't know if I can give you 5, but I can give you my top 3.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's
um,
okay.
yeah, and then also a non-negotiable, just not mindful of me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I guess that kind of sounds a little selfish coming across, but as a friend, if I'm treating you as a friend, if I consider you a friend, I expect you to be mindful of me. And then as far as relationships, any relationship, even business wise, I expect for you to take my thoughts and who I am into consideration. And you're not just doing whatever you want to do and not thinking of me as well and how it impacts me. So those would be my top 3, like, non-negotiables.
That's good. That number one, consistency, boy. Whew,
Yes.
that's a real one right there.
Exactly.
That's a real one. Uh,
Exactly.
well, we have to have our group, our support group, but I feel like our spirituality is like one of the main staples in our lives. So tell me what role spirituality and religion plays in your life.
Everything. Absolutely everything. And it's my foundation. Every decision I make, good or bad, I at least thought about praying about it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
God in prayer and think about it. I'm reading my Bible constantly, just a reminder, no matter what is in the back of my head. So it plays a huge part because I truly believe God has his hand in my life. Whether I
Hmm.
do it or I don't, regardless of the decision I make, I just know ultimately he is guiding my path. So it's definitely my foundation. It's the center for me.
What would you say to someone who is struggling with finding that balance when it comes to like being a Christian, but they feel like the world is like pulling them or tugging at
Yeah.
them? Like they feel like they can't be cool if they're Christian too.
Makes sense. I can answer this in so many ways, but I think you have to go with who you are,
Mm-hmm.
period. You know what I mean? Because if you don't want to be around someone, first of all, that doesn't accept who you are. Like, majority of my friends aren't Christian, but they know I'm a Christian and it don't bother
Right.
them. You know what I mean? I let them be them and they allow me to be me. So I think when someone's in tug of war between, trying to fit in versus just going with their own morals and values, you have to remember that the moment you start compromising who you are, you're going to have to continue to compromise who you are.
Yeah.
Think a lot of people, especially in our youth, because I know I was there at one point as well. We don't give people the opportunity to know us. We automatically just want to fit in, not realizing if you be who you are, they'll eventually accept it, or you find friends who can accept it. So
Yeah.
I think, just the challenge is to stick to who you are because as you continue to say no or yes to your morals and values, people will adjust to that. And then you'll be comfortable in being who you are no matter what.
Absolutely. That's real.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to be who you are. So much easier.
Exactly.
It's just like telling a lie. You got to keep lying.
Exactly.
I'm about to keep
You gotta
lying.
keep it. Mhm. But I see, I think that also comes with people not being okay with being by themselves. You know what I mean? Because the moment you accept, like, I can be by myself, you're not trying to fit in with anybody. Like, you're gonna be who you are. Because if you don't like me, I'm good regardless. So
I'll
people
be at
got
this house.
exactly. I'll be at this house watching Netflix, doing my own thing, and not worried about you stressing to for you to like me. But if you like being by yourself, it's cool.
Yeah, I do feel like you need to know how to be by yourself because self-awareness is like the best gift God could have ever given us. When you know what you can and can't accept and how you
Exactly.
operate and what makes you tick, it just changes the game. And
Exactly.
you
Saves a
select
lot of
people,
headache.
yeah, and you're able to select the people that's supposed to be around you better.
That is true. Absolutely.
So be like that, she ain't for me.
Right. Your vibe is all off.
All off. Let me ask you this. So when it comes to adulting, um, we all have to manage our finances and try to keep things together. So what do you do to make sure that you maintain your budget and all that kind of
No, good question. So for me, you got to pay your expenses first. And now I'm coming from my finance
stuff?
head over here. You know what I mean? Like, you got to make sure that you have enough money to cover your necessities first. And then after, some people say pay yourself first. No, I need my house paid first. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Figure it out later. But I think people gotta remember it's not just about how much you make, it's about how much you keep as well. So pay off what you need to pay first. So for me, that's my rent, my car loan, student loans, just all the basic necessities. And then from there, whatever is left over, I budget some to savings. And then after that, it's free game if I want it to be. But
Yeah.
that's how I manage, because now my job I get paid once a month, and that's hard to do because it's like
Boy.
I'm not getting another check in 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yes, I think that's how I manage it really.
That's insane. Yeah. I used to be on that one check a month before. I was like, man,
Horrible,
whew,
man.
I gotta manage
Horrible.
this really well because boy.
Exactly. They'll be gone quick.
It will be gone quick. You be like, dang, I didn't even know.
Exactly. Just got paid and it's gone. So
That's so fun. A lot of people like place their value on money when it comes to like defining their success or like what they think is gonna make them happy. So I wanted to ask you, like, what do you define? How do you define success and happiness?
that's a good question. So I kind of thought about it. I think success for me is just truly just attaining whatever goal I have in that present season for me. So success isn't just in money. Like right now, I'm trying to learn Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
I can learn Spanish. That is a success for me, and I'm gonna be happy about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to get healthy and get in shape. That's a success for me. Happiness really for me, I always say I have like an inner peace and inner joy, and that's success to me because I'm constantly smiling. Anybody who knows me, I'm rarely not happy.
True.
I'm really not laughing, and it's not because I've attained all this money, which I don't have. You know what I mean? But I know there's success in other areas, like I mentioned, just small goals. If I can save a certain amount of money by the end of the month, that's a success to me. So I think it's not just being financially set in life that defines
Mm-hmm.
success for me. It's just accomplishing things that I just want to do.
Yeah. Absolutely. I feel that. I just wanna get my two abs like Ezekiel Elliott and
Okay.
Crop Top City and we good. Nah, I'm just
Exactly. I
playing.
just want my hair to grow. Look, I just want my hair to grow at this point.
Look, I was like, let me tie mine up today. I was like, I don't even want it down because that hair is doing the most.
I'm with you. I'm with you. That's why I have what I have in.
What would you say was your biggest challenge when it comes to like transitioning out of college? Like that first 2 years out of college, what would have been your biggest challenge?
um, I think my biggest challenge was truly one, trying to find a job that I would like and what I want. But at the same time, I was on a time crunch. Like I almost kind of have to accept anything at the same time because my family's not from here. So
Mm-hmm.
college, it was like I was kind of on my own, or I'm gonna have to move way back home, and I didn't want to do that since I've been on my own this time. So I think this challenges in which most candidates are going to run into is the lack of experience.
Yeah.
That closed a lot of doors. I even had an interview. I said, well, and I told him this in the interview. I said, well, how am I going to get experience if no one will hire me? Because he was already like, you don't have the experience, etc. Well, how can I get that if you don't hire me? He just started stuttering.
Yeah.
He just started stuttering because he was like, well, I guess you got a point.
I do.
You're not even paying that much. Like, don't act like this ain't an entry-level job. And that was my struggles, like entry-level jobs closing the door on me. And I've always thought finance and accounting kind of went hand in hand.
Yeah.
So people wanted the exact degree, depending on your field and depending on the job, they want the exact degree to match it. So that was a struggle versus settling versus trying to get the job I wanted. That was hard.
Yeah. What would you say about how did you negotiate your contract though? Is that something that you even did, or did you just say, I'm gonna just take whatever they give me?
So initially, I wasn't negotiating nothing. I just needed the job. and honestly, I'm not a huge negotiator. Just my personality is either you want it or you don't.
Yeah.
So my first job, I wasn't really negotiating, but especially if I didn't have any experience, I just needed something to put on my resume. When I go into jobs, I have a minimum that I set. And I Google search what is the median average for this position that I have and go from there. I know for my current job, I did a little negotiating because I was like, hold on, hold on. Like, I get what you're trying to offer me, but don't forget I've done this.
Right.
And I said, can I get a little more? Look, my license in itself is expensive. You're not even paying for that. You know what I mean? So I was able to get a little bit more money from there. I'm still trying to tone those skills.
Yeah, that's all right.
It comes with confidence in selling yourself. And so every time I get a new job, I start to do more in interviews.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing the work and you're getting all that experience. So of course,
Exactly.
Y'all got to negotiate y'all's contracts.
Now you got to pay me for it, right? You need to pay me for it.
Please pay me what I'm worth.
Exactly.
And add a tip on top of that.
Exactly. Just because, sprinkle a little razzle on it. Just a little bit.
That's so funny. Let me ask you this: like, do you believe that purpose is a journey or a destination?
So I guess this is how I'm going to explain. I don't know if it makes sense or not. I think your passion is the journey, and then your purpose becomes the destination, so to speak.
Okay.
I think your passion fuels you, like your likes and your dislikes is kind of going to direct you. And I think a lot of times people stumble across their purpose. Like you just happen to hit this destination to where, oh, wow, this is my purpose, regardless of everything you did through. So I guess to really answer your question, it's a destination. And it may be multiple destinations, it might be a season, but I think the actual purpose is a destination.
You know what's funny? You're the first one to explain it like that. Yeah, that's good though. I mean, it makes perfect sense. It makes sense too. Like, I feel like there's no wrong answer to that question. Like, it really is just based off your perspective and what you think. And that's actually a good way to think about it.
Yeah, because a lot of people think their passion is their purpose, and I don't think that's always the case.
True.
You know what I mean? Passion is just something you feel strongly about, but your passion might just lead you somewhere that you didn't even realize where you were needed.
Yeah. And I do believe a lot of people do stumble upon what they end up wanting to do. Like, you didn't even know that existed. You'd be like, what?
Exactly. Did something like, oh, this is my purpose.
It feels good. It feels
exactly.
Good. Well, I got one more question for you. Okay. If you knew then what you know now, would you change anything?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I would have taken a lot more risk. And I would have stuck more to my first mind, so to speak. I think I allowed people that I trusted to kind of deter my path. And it's not that they were steering me in the wrong direction per se. You know what I mean? They thought they were telling me what was best, and I trust their opinion. But I think that persuaded me to go in the opposite direction than what I really wanted to do. So I think I would have just taken a lot more risk.
So what's stopping you from doing it now?
man, it's not that easy now. You know what I mean? I would have done it younger because I had less to lose. You know what I mean? So now that I'm older, I have way more to lose. Not saying it's gonna ever stop me, but it's gonna take me
Hmm.
longer because I have to actually set myself up to be successful now. Versus
Yeah,
when I was in school, I at least can be financially dependent on my parents.
yeah.
You know, and now it's not really an option. I mean, they probably can, but they don't want to.
They like,
They don't
nah,
really
girl.
want to. I know exactly. So I'm still gonna do it. But I mean, some things for like certain colleges, I probably won't go back and do that. I think that would be backwards for me unless I plan to go back to school. But yeah, I'm still gonna do it eventually. But it's a little hard.
That's good. I understand. That's good though that you still have the desire to do it. So that's a good thing.
For sure, for sure.
Well, Mel, I appreciate your time. This was great.
Thank you. I love talking.
She said, I love talking. Y'all, look, y'all make sure y'all go and follow Being This, That, and Black on Instagram. It's on Facebook too,
On
right?
Facebook, on Twitter, you can go to beingthisthatandblack.com as well.
Yes. Y'all go follow them and subscribe, please.
Absolutely. And my last plug, if you know any small business owners, entrepreneurs, please let us know. We want to highlight you on our platform. And honestly, it's completely free. We literally just want to give people an option to see you. So definitely let us know.
I got to submit mine too. I just got the
Yes,
website up, so
please.
I will be doing that.
Yes, please.